most amazing, beautiful, sexy, smart, intelligent woman I ever met in my life.
It was like one small, tiny, itsy-bitsy incident with Ra and one of Andy's friends, but it was nothing.
It's all the whole Remy and Pap situation. None of it was true.
I don't have nothing to do with that.
Okay.
I have been open in all my relationships that I've had. All of them.
Well,
I mean, I probably have 4 boyfriends online, so.
Yeah, that's why I said I love him. I love having his support, you know what I'm saying?
Welcome back to Celebi Misty, where the drama is ever present, and today we must discuss Papoose and Remy Ma, as she's now holding why is Pap basically a hostage, requesting a divorce, but Remy still won't let him leave. Things are getting really terrible. Claressa Shields is prepared to take action in the ring and force some rational thought into her. And let's face it, this isn't simply concerning love rumors circulating that Pap could be in search of that alimony bag. Yes, the Remy was restrained for years by the same father. She preserved her name when she was incarcerated, living and was the epitome of a faithful. Now that she's out here protecting her husband, her own luggage, and cozying up with Simple, by the way, the block captain has already substituted 2 younger. Why does she still act like Pat? Women belongs to her, which is precisely why Claressa Shields is unable to see it. Claressa has been displaying affection towards Pat openly, and she's letting people know that she just recently had his back. Posted a birthday message on Instagram. Message that got everyone talking. She wished King Pap a happy birthday, so thankful for your life, music, and you are genuinely wise and loyal. God bless you with numerous blessings, one by one. More years in faster hands because you're getting all your birthday presents today. I adore you, Poppy. Oh, it's Poppy now, huh? And not simply greetings on his birthday, but she struck him with the adore you if that wasn't a blatant jab at Remy too. I'm not sure what it is, but something goes beyond this was a sweet little birthday post. Oh. Complete caution since Remy she has been putting off this divorce for months, but since Pap is now receiving, when other women started noticing her, she abruptly refuses to let go and wants to speak regarding why this is more significant than merely a split. To begin with is Remy had no difficulty going out in public with East Block captain stating unequivocally that although she had moved on, Pap is now she's behaving like he's doing his own thing. The man is still hers, and here is where the money makes things extra messier. For Remy, Papoose put everything on weight, kept her down during her incarceration, and ensured that her career was stable. When she left, I was waiting for her, but now she is out here protecting her own. Does she truly want to sign the checks? Those documents in anticipation of Pap's arrival for a portion of that fruit, since let's face it, if Pap really remises pockets for spousal support, paperwork will sense it, and Claressa Shields does more than simply relax and observing. She is prepared to fling her hands if essential. If Remy believes she can maintain ping limbo as she amuses other, it may be necessary for her to confront guys with Claressa initially, thus the actual I want to know if Remy is waiting. Because is she simply still in love with Pap? Attempting to safeguard her funds in whatever case Pap is receiving affection from ladies who genuinely value him. And Remy Ma recognizing that she had manipulated herself, and let's not even discuss how simple the block the captain's minor circumstance, because to put it simply, he isn't looking back at Remy, Claressa Shields isn't there. Here she is risking her heart, standing for Pap with 10 toes down, yet the why he is still legally is the true question. I tied up in a marriage that he doesn't even desire, since Remy Ma is out here with those divorce documents as hostages. They are the planet's final meal. And it's not because to Pap's failure to attempt to break rumor has it that he has been requesting this divorce for several months. If years have passed, but Remy won't sign off. And let's not pretend that this is brand new. Just speculating? Do you all recall when Remy dropped those after getting really messy? Pap and Claressa's text exchanges the tea was blazing hot and created a actual unambiguous image of how Claressa was irritated with the entire circumstance. She was also not holding back. Claressa, in those stolen messages, immediately checked Pap to make sure he wasn't reminding her that he arrived home safely. He is the one who is still legally, I quote you, married, not her, she said. Are married if you are unable to, at the very least, sleep with me on the phone or be in person with me. It shouldn't be telling me that you made it as a huge deal. Tell me that doesn't sound now that I'm home safe. Like a frustrated housewife, she's exhausted, but she really wants her lover. A feeling marginalized when she ought to be the centerpiece, but Remy, oh, she wasn't finished. She didn't even get close. Up the ante and accusing Papa of threatening to report her to the police and even implying she received audio recordings showing him acting aggressively at this time. Pap wasn't going to ignore that. Denied it completely, yet the truth kicker, he returned immediately and stated that Remy's only explanation for acting out is a result of her bitterness that he moved on. And let's not act as though none of us saw Remy's movements throughout Christmas. She was jeered with ease in 2023. Block captain who doesn't even try to conceal it. The same ease with which she was able to that rap contest in which she essentially acknowledged her love for him. So how do you go on is the true question. Tell the world with a completely other man. You reject him, even if you're in love with him. It makes sense and is simple to let Pap go. She was previously replaced by the block captain. Why is she with two younger women? Pap is still clinging to him like a life raft. Since right now it's about control.
I'm only gonna address this shit one time. Since y'all wanna be on the front lines. Hey yo, Remy, don't you love me? See right there, that's the punchline.
If you felt that everything was disorganized before fastening your seatbelt, as it's going to obtain, Wilder Claressa Shields Papoose is out here taking care of a big couple. Objectives such as the kind of love that creates people ignore their own relationships. And if there was any uncertainty over how Valentine's Day is locked in, deleted anything that these two departed for Hawaii for an entire romantic vacation. And I'll tell you, they weren't merely enjoying pina coladas. On the beach, sipping coladas and holding hands, no Pap was taking care of business at the time. Claressa was in charge of Heart's Pap, Hawaii launching the inaugural Hawaii Fest, as you are all aware that he is about his even while he's on vacation, yet bags rather than keeping it quiet. He jumped on threads to inform others precisely how events transpired. He shared the show included a lot of stars and was amazing. Pulled up, and this year we set new records. Big talk, Mr. Pap, he's going to make history. Securing his money out here, whilst the reason Claressa is guaranteeing their love is Claressa was being bossed by him, was ensuring that the romance continued. She shared the sweetest little video of herself hitting it while singing to him on the beach. Classic, we can make it just the two of us. It was a bit cheesy, but if we tried, the love and energy were palpable. Genuine, unadulterated, and pure, but while Pap and Claressa were lounging outside. You already know the details of their love story. Haters were observing, and because of them, we refer to a specific individual who has yet to give up that last name.
The two of us, we can make it if we try.
But hold on, this tale just took a whole different direction since Papoose and Claressa Shields was living out here. Their most romantic tale in the tropics slated to be an even more significant occasion occurring in Hawaii and spreading through the streets is that Pap planned this journey for a lengthy period. And it was more than just relaxing. It was about creating things. Official, you heard correctly, Pap was purportedly seeking to complete his separation from Remy Ma prior to this journey. Thus, he might ask the perfect question to picture of Claressa on Valentine's Day, Hawaii, has the ideal ocean wind. The love of his life standing at sunset before him. Are you unable to see the ring glistening in the moonlight would have made for a memorable story, but guess who intervened and ruined the entire that's correct? Miss Remy Ma steady. I'm not so done with Pap. All of a sudden, ultimately, rather than letting go and going forward, she has reportedly been postponing the divorce paperwork and playing games that it's essential to her life. And why, since things aren't proceeding according to plan. Easy, the black captain, with her new partner. Oh, she wants to be challenging now. So, she understands that letting Pap leave will possibly an error, and it does the insistence that she has been witnessing Pap provide Claressa the same affection and encouragement that you already know that she used to get, striking her firmly. And let's not overlook Pap was formerly Remy's strongest supporter, kept her restrained while she was confined, preserved her reputation and never allowed anyone to ignore her identity. And he's offering Claressa recalled that same energy when Claressa was entertained by Pap at her boxing fight as she entered the ring that served as more than just support declaration, a completely new degree of affection and commitment and witnessing his appearance. Oh, go out and flaunt yourself for another woman. That must have made Remy feel something, of course, but let's actually discuss it. Because there is more to this circumstance than love lost or resentment from an ex regarding Remy's refusal to sign the divorce documents provide. What are your terrified of vibrations? And now the according to the streets. This may have not related to feelings and everything pertaining to money. Yes, the word is Remy refuses to let Pap leave because she's aware that he's going to collect the alimony.
3-year-old Jason Scott has been arrested in connection to a in Queens that dates back to 2021. Investigators are looking into the possibility that it was a...
After all these years, that Remy Ma and Papoose finally done called it quits. That man got sick of her. Like, ma'am, I sat here all this time and waited on you as a man. Because, you know, that's what women do. That's what women would wait on you. But a man, after you got sentenced, matter of fact, before you even got sentenced, men move on. And they be having about 5, 6, 7, 10 women lined up quick. But this man waited on you while you was locked up. They wouldn't let you out. And I'm talking about he got him a little thunder. Sis is young, pretty. She got her own thing going on, so it ain't like it's one of these little fans or nothing, baby. You up against something. Yeah. And you hurt. Now, you probably was the one in the relationship that was the abusive one. You probably was mental abuse. That man probably was real chill mode. You probably did him real dirty behind closed doors. And he stuck in the paint and stayed with you while you did him dirty. But now it's over with, baby. Karma is something else. Yeah, karma. Matter of fact, it ain't even karma. It's just that man know his worth and he leaving you where you stand at. That done. Yeah, ain't no more us. Baby, take that ring off. Take it off, baby, take it off.
When it comes to this, and she's not attempting to make fun of that man. Check your knowledge of the divorce law now. Works, you're already aware that this might acquire messy quickly. So let's be honest, Pap was the one keeping it in for years. And after a divorce, particularly when there is a significant income gap, courts don't simply give away free passages. They consider all the length of the pair had been wed for more than 10 years. Financial disparity, Remy's career flourished significantly after she left when Pap continued to provide consistent contributions throughout. OP received receipts for days after the marriage. Let's go back in time. They weren't merely after 11 years of dating, they were confined for 19 years. They started dating in 2004 and got married in 2008, and their union came to an official end in 2023, but it's not a typical wedding. They actually got married over the phone. In 2008, Remy was in prison, which is commitment on a new level. And let's remember that Pap wasn't merely present in when Remy Ma received a prison sentence. Pap stayed on her side the whole time in 2008. He waited for 6 years. And when she at last stepped outside and he didn't miss a beat in 2014 and remained there. And if that wasn't sufficient evidence of devotion, they shared their affection with complete wedding ceremony shown on television in 2015 since the guy desired the globe. To be aware that by 2018, he was riding for her, they reminisced about their daughter's arrival. Mackenzie, and briefly it appeared as though fairy tale perfection. But now that same Remy's loyalty is going to cost him dearly. Because if this divorce does go through, and Pat demands alimony, may only need to cover all of the he gave up years for her. And this isn't about why she's taking so long. The goal is to save the marriage. The sack since Pap wouldn't have any rights if to anything you believe she might be carrying on this type. Let's take a closer look at it, since if someone has a case that has to be supported, it's Remy was restrained by this man through her, Pap, darkest years, and now that the time has come for discuss who should provide support for whom. The statistics don't support her, and oh, when you look at the money. See Remy, this is when things get messy. Ma has a healthy net worth at $4 million according to estimates, while Pap his the state of finances doesn't even come close. And Remy is aware of this. precisely why she has been delaying those divorce documents, because the instant she indications that she is considering those alimony, her bank account is being pounded severely by payments. Let's now discuss where Remy's money is. Comes from record sales. It's fact. Been producing a consistent bag despite she has never been on Cardi or Nicki Minaj. Reality TV at B's level. Yes, she has been stacking checks from television programs such as Love and hip-hop apparel brands and promotions, an additional reliable source of income royalties. Not to mention her 2006 Something About Remy's debut album, based on an actual incident, and while she didn't become extremely popular, despite her fame, she remained relevant, being considered for the Best Female Hip-Hop Award. Performer 4 times at the BET Awards and even won. And notice that it's not nothing, but the problem of us was standing with her at the time. She was creating her own brand, making sacrifices and keeping the family together, and she now possesses the larger bag. Therefore, legally, she appears to be the one who may be required to make payment. And that's the true cause of this protracted divorce. Because as soon as she releases Pap, the courts will ensure that he receives what he owes, but Remy is unwilling to observe those payments leaving her monthly account. Let's be honest here. Even if it was, despite being locked up, she continued to move in. She wasn't just sitting there playing the music game, sitting in a cell for the world to do not forget her. She was still releasing mixtapes while maintaining her reputation, still working in the field, but you know who was working hard out here to ensure those mixtapes were not ignored? Papoose was the one who promoted her songs. One was ensuring that people would not forget he was the one who came out here making the calls to close agreements and maintain her brand alive. And it's safe to assume that wasn't simply love it, but it took a lot of work. Consider that Remy has a lot of money in his pockets. Regarding it, Remy was absent for 6 years, entire years without having the ability to hit the studio or perform on the network, like she felt that would be plenty time for the rapper's career will vanish entirely. However, did Rema's career end? Because to Pap's movements out here, which he was promoting her under the one-man record label, mixtapes that attract the correct audience pay attention and maintain the Remy Ma brand. Living, and when she eventually emerged in 2014, she didn't have to begin from the beginning. When she returned home, her fan following was, why was I still waiting for her? Since Pap kept it in place, and this is precisely why individuals are stating that if he is the one who deserves alimony, because it wasn't just Remy who made the sacrifices made in that marriage, we're exerting equal effort to ensure that she wasn't broke when she got home. So considering that she now has the larger bag, you can be sure that the courts are going to keep all of that in mind when it's time to discuss money. When Remy eventually left the jail gates in 2014, she wasn't simply returning to, she was entering the real world. Completely new degree of fame, and you know who was directly next to her, causing her return was undoubtedly nothing short of renowned Papoose. They took it to reignite their love. Directly to VH1's Love and Hip on TV Hop New York turn become the RTL venue. For them to display their romantic tale. And to avoid confusion, this wasn't only Remy's return made Pap a star in himself. He wasn't only there for support, he was included in the plot. People weren't only keeping an eye out for Remy. They were paying attention to them both. Their dynamic appealed to their admirers, their family life, their hardships. They're the manner in which Pop restrained Remy through all of that. And let's face it, those episodes were generating revenue. Chemistry's highs and lows along the route, they handled every aspect of life after prison. Intended for must-watch television, and guess who ensured that such checks continued to flow? Papoose, but it didn't end there. Didn't only surf a single season's wave, they obtained several guest spin-offs, appearances, and established the whole brand off their romance. But let's be honest, evidently, Remy wasn't alone. Pap was profiting from those V-Home bags. He was as much of a star as she was. Was there more than one supporting actor standing? He was a part of the background, why viewers continued to watch. Especially when people claimed that Pap wasn't involved in, they must have been those TV inspections. Viewing an alternative program, since the dude wasn't only standing next to Remy. Stood on business. Fraud business. When Remy Ma stopped her clothing line, the Remy Ma set 2018 was more than just clothing. It was considering making a statement, but you know who was there, ensuring that the world Papoose, you were aware that this wasn't merely any collection, it served a more profound function. A percentage of the money raised was committed to supporting families and women impacted by imprisonment, a factor that hit Remy close to home. But let's be honest, a worthy cause by itself doesn't sell a apparel line. You require genuine advertising, genuine effort, genuine exposure. And who ensured that occurred, but he wasn't simply relaxing while observing Remy perform her, believed he was aggressively promoting the brand. He went on to dominate the menswear collection at events, ensured that it was getting focused and performed the kind of work that influencers are really compensated by brands. Funds to consider it, while major companies want people to see their goods. Spend thousands or maybe millions of dollars for endorsements by celebrities, but Remy was exempt from paying for that promotion. Pap was already on it, so he backed the brand as if it were his own. Every time Remy had interviews or events, Pap ensured that appearances the focus was on collection. Wasn't merely a quiet backer, he was in dynamic power behind the scenes that makes ensuring that her brand continued to expand. So when people discuss how Remy obtained the therefore, they must give credit where credit is due, because many of those successes had its covered in Pap's fingerprints. If there's one item that truly demonstrates the breadth of Papa's devotion, is demonstrated by what he accomplished for Remy. When Remy was serving meth, her son Jason, her adolescent son, was sentenced to prison. Scott wasn't left to fend for him. Papoose, who was alone, stepped forward in he didn't do it the manner that most men would. Simply check in occasionally, he took on being a father figure full-time. Bringing up a child is a duty. But intervening to look after another man's son, but your spouse is the next degree of incarceration, is Pap detained. Cleaned the house and ensured Jason was looked after, and given the type of stability that the majority of children in that circumstance doesn't get. But this is where the narrative takes a tragic turn, despite following its debut. And life was thought to tragedy still found in order to go back on track. Jason's 2021 entry into their world. Scott was taken into custody and accused of first-degree murder in connection with a shooting death. The case in Queens, New York, rocked the whole family, leaving many people perplexed. Pap did what went wrong for years, making every effort to keep that boy on the correct route. But maybe it doesn't matter how much structure and affection you give the streets, continue to have a method of attracting individual. This wasn't only about Jason's decisions concerned the amount Pap made a sacrifice in an attempt to keep him out of problems. When Remy was in prison, Papa wasn't merely holding out for her, he was completing the tasks she left behind. Behind that kind of commitment isn't something that has a monetary value. Regarding this disorganized divorce is getting increasingly painful. Remy Ma is clearly procrastinating, and she understands why she should sign those documents. She's given Pap the opportunity to come to receive your alimony payment, and from it appears like she is not attempting to allow that occur. Yo is most irritated by the entire Claressa Shields incident since Remy isn't only dragging this out, divorcing for the sake of past emotions, she is presenting the upcoming part of Claressa and Pop's life. She's not the kind to relax and allow someone to obstruct her contentment. She is aware of her desires and she wants to create a future for herself. This isn't a casual relationship with Pop. Asa is out there enjoying this for her Clay. She's not bashful about it either. Man loudly, she refers to him as her king, her rock, and her. She's showing up for him in everything, backing him and ensuring the globe understands that this isn't just about her. Regarding being Claressa's new girlfriend is in this for Remy in the long haul. When she sees that, she starts to move differently, as Pat might move on and truly weds Claressa, which implies Remy lost everything he had before. And observing it from the outside, beginning to appear as though Remy is dragging this divorce solely to protect Pat from entering his new life to the fullest. But at the query at this stage is how long can she continue to play the game before it backfires. So boom here. Claressa Shields is attempting to live her life to the fullest with her partner, yet there is only one issue. Remy Ma declines. How long is it taking to let go? Sis, how are you living your own life out here? Life progressing with the very other man who I've already replaced you. though continue to put things off when it comes to putting your signature on those documents, it doesn't add up. And now it's Pat is not the only one who is frustrated. Claressa is becoming impatient. She has given her all to demonstrate Pap love, supporting him, even putting up how long though. With all this extra baggage, should she wait until there's enough? Okay, let's be honest. If Remy was genuinely finished with Pap, she would have allowed why is she still there while he has already left. Like her, clinging to this dead marriage some people's lives depend on it. Claiming that her refusal is merely petty to allow Pap to be content since she is aware he has at last discovered someone who genuinely admires him and people are looking at her. And asserting that this has nothing to do with love. This concerns that alimony-seeking woman because don't pretend that Pap didn't hold her. When she was imprisoned, let's not act as though he wasn't the one who kept keeping her name alive and ensuring she had a profession to return to now that she has her own funds and is successful. Fearful that P may steal what he is due. Additionally, remember that Remy is Claressa is finished stalling out here, playing nice. She has been referring to her as Pop. King lavishing him with affection, demonstrating to him what it means to be genuinely valued. But she isn't planning to keep waiting interminably due to one aspect of Claressa doesn't engage in drama. Doesn't play games, and she most certainly doesn't spend time waiting for a former partner who refuses to sign the documents. Therefore, the actual what will Pap do? I wonder if Remy continues to drag this out, because a man must eventually make a decision. Does he continue to look for a lady who does not release? Or does he take authority over his own life and compel the problem? Because let's face it, if Claressa begins to feel that this circumstance she will never be able to resolve it. To remain, since one thing is for she's definitely not going to play second. Play a supporting role in a circumstance that should have been dealt with long ago. Therefore, I had the opportunity to ask my hushers and stars, how are you all doing? Believe that Remy is still hanging on because is she secretly hoping for Pap to return? Merely attempting to avoid those alimony money? And do you all believe that Claressa will she continue to wait? Finally, I'm going to say the time has come for you to let go of your the comments ideas struck a chord with me button, and remember to subscribe as well. Never miss the newest tea, and make sure to watch the upcoming video, because believe me, if you thought this was messy. Until you see the next step.